Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Alex. Look like somebody left me a chair. Today's Sunday. I'm washing my clothes. Sorry. Don't worry, I'm gonna make a YouTube video about ice cream trucks that love to pass through when you're filmmaking. But like I was basically saying, today's Sunday. I'm washing my clothes, and then after that, I gotta pay my gym bill, and then tomorrow, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, I got job interviews back to back, and those might be the days where you may not get no YouTube videos. So don't take it personal if there's some days in between the week that you're not getting no YouTube videos, because I have ideas for new videos that are going to be released in 2020, because this year's starting to wind down, and as we get closer and closer to the new year, we won't be getting that many videos, and then when we get to the new year, there'll be some new videos. So this one's going to be called Sex Game. Who's the freakiest woman in the bed? Nerds, BBW, Goth, and of course older women. Now these are 4 types of women that I would consider are the best of the best and are freaks in the bedroom. You know how Ludacris said in this rap song, a woman in public, but a freak in the bedroom? We could name the title that to try to make it more appropriate. As you do know, YouTube has now required by law that I am to tell you if my content is for kids or not for kids. And I think you should know by now my content is not for kids. So if you're not 18, if you're not 19, if you're not 20, if you're not 21, if you're not 30, if you're not 50 years old, you should not be watching my content at all. We do not want your mom, your dad, your grandma, or your granddad, or your uncle, or your auntie to come break in on the room on you during the weekday or the weekend and catch you watching some grown-up content, and then you get a 3-hour lecture, and then, you know, YouTube come down on my neck because I got somebody that's not age appropriate watching my adult content. It's for adults only. It may sound fun and interesting to watch my content, but if you're not 18, if you're not at least in college, you shouldn't be watching my content. I may have to tell you because I don't want you two to be like, how come you ain't never told nobody if your content's for kids or not for kids? Yes, it is irritating. It is annoying for me to have to say this on camera, but I have to do 2 or 3 videos of me saying it so that way I don't get in trouble on the internet, you know. Other YouTubers are also having to say that in their content or show you examples in their content that their content isn't for kids. Like O'Shea Jackson, he has resorted to using foul language now because he suspects that if he just puts not for kids, people can just ignore that, and then he has to go through all the trouble of explaining, so he rather would just say adult language just to get his point across, which that might help him, but that may not help me out. So I'm taking a different approach. I'm actually saying, if you're not in college, you shouldn't be watching this content. You know, and it's the same thing. So we're trying to, and we might change the name of the title because we don't want to offend too many people either. Men and women can be easily offended by this title. Like me and you may not be offended, but someone else might be offended. So yeah, so I got to do it. Now, what gave me this idea of the video is that a lot of people don't know what death by misadventure is. And what I mean by that is, back when you was in high school or when you were in college, there was something that you wanted to try or you wanted to do for fun, and whatever the situation was, you were not allowed to do it for fun. Whether parents were too strict, and I thought about the monopolies. Somebody might say, what are the monopolies in the sex dating world? Well, you got some guys that, and this is when I was a kid, if they used to say it like this: if you try to mess around with a BBW woman that was 200 pounds or 300 pounds or 400 pounds, they thought you were insane. They thought you were crazy. They thought you lost your mind. That somebody needed to get a straitjacket and throw you in a sane asylum for a couple of days and be like, what on earth would make this man want to do this? And I've already made plenty of YouTube videos in the past saying that a lot of men get sexually frustrated. You do have a lot of black men, a lot of white men, and a lot of Mexican men that do get sexually frustrated, and they want to express themselves the best ways they know how. And one of the monopolies are the BBW girl. You can say fat girl, overweight girl. We'll just say the BBW girl. And the reason why I say there's 4 types is because I'm trying to explain to you in the video how these 4 types, how they come to be. For an example, we're going to start off with that stereotype. Not all fat women go to McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell and Carl's Jr. That's a stereotype that they love to put in movies and television shows. Yes, they love to eat, but it ain't like how the movies and the television shows depict it. You will catch a lot of women who go to 24-hour fitness, LA Fitness. They do go to the gym and they do work out. Now, they're not supermodels, but they are the next best thing. They are plus size models. Now, we call this a monopoly because I got the idea from a TV show called Hung, which used to be on HBO about 10 years ago. And not to ruin it if you ain't never seen the television concept, but it was about a guy that was a PE math coach for about 15 years. Then he gets laid off his job, wife divorced, some kids hate him, and he runs into his high school friend that he haven't seen in 20 years at a job convention, and then he's tasked on trying to get himself a new job. And there's a monopoly in that TV show, but I'm not going to ruin the TV show if you've never seen it. It's like 10 years old, you know. But the point is, these are monopolies. And one of the monopolies is every once in a lifetime, a man might do something in his life that might people start to question his insanity. So that's why we have these titles. Now, what is good about the BBW woman is that she loves to prove herself. She'll prove to the naysayers, the skeptics, and the doubters that she can compete at a high competitive level. You will go to 24-hour fitness gym, LA Fitness, Planet Fitness gyms, and you'll see black women, white women, and Latino women that are overweight in very good, well-fit, conditioned shape, and do get approached by men. Now, it may not be professional basketball players, football players, baseball players, but it is men nevertheless. These women do know how to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'm not talking about go to McDonald's and Burger King and get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm talking about real food. They know how to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So they know how to prove to the world that they are useful, that they have value. They also know how to cook and clean, and they're very good at money management. Now, in the movies and the television shows, they often portray these women as terrible with finances. Some of them are, but not every woman is terrible with their finances. I said some. I don't want the all police to come up in here and prosecute me, so I'm trying to say the word some, not all. Some people will take this the wrong way and misconstrue what I say when I ain't never said that, because you got some player haters on here that just like to do stuff when there's no call for it, when there's no need to do it. It's completely unnecessary. They'll just do it anyway because they think if they do it they'll win brownie points, which they never do win brownie points in the long run. But the point is, they like to prove themselves, and they are some freaks in the bedroom. Oh yeah, they are some freaks. You'll be surprised if you ask out a BBW woman that's black, white, or Mexican out to lunch or dinner, and then if you take them to the bedroom, they are some freaks. I mean, the nickname they get is called closet freaks, because you know that old saying, don't judge a book by its cover? Oh, they'll do some things in the bedroom that'll blow your mind, that'll have you stay up for hours on end. And you got some guys that low-key chubby chase. You got some guys that will go to a gym that all they do is work out, do cardio and weight training, and their only purpose is that they like to chubby chase. There's a such thing of it. You might find that weird and strange. You might find that hard to believe. But you got some men that are like that. That they get bigger, they get stronger, they get faster, and they go to the gym 3 to 4, maybe 5 times a week just so they can get in shape for those types of women. And sometimes they say the sex is great. Sometimes they say the sex is good. I've never gone through the experience, but I had this one guy that played football in high school and college, and he was in great athletic shape. The guy could bench press, leg squat, and deadlift 200 pounds, 300 pounds, and he was into big women. Every time we went to the park, the movie theater, we saw him with a big white woman. We saw him with 5 months later, we saw him dating a big Latino woman. We saw him date a black woman that was, up there. And he would do this in high school. He would do this in college. He would even go as far as to date 2 women at the same time. Like literally date both big women at the same time. And a lot of people started to question him. Why would you want to do this? You're a football player. You play at UCLA. You can get women that are 8s, 9s, and 10s. And his answer was, I don't want women that are 8s, 9s, and 10s. Let me have fun and leave me alone. And he would get challenged a whole lot on that. And a lot of fights would break out. A lot of people get beat up, knocked out unconscious, because it just wouldn't leave the man alone. And it's not until his grandfather said he was always like that from a young age. So we call that one of the monopolies. A nice way of saying a monopoly is the Twilight Zone television show. So there are some freaks in the bed. Why I say that? Because I've been hit on by, big white women, BBW white women, BBW Mexican women, and BBW black women. I get hit on a whole lot, so I can relate to that. Now, have I actually done it? No, I have not. You could say there's close calls, but the old saying, almost not good enough. So there's that monopoly. Then there is the one that guys get really harshly attacked for. They like to date the young goth girl or the young nerd chick. You look at in the music industry, a lot of the girls are younger, and a lot of the rap artists are in their late 20s, early 30s, and a lot of times they get scrutinized for doing it. They want to make it seem like it's a bad thing. They'll say you're having a midlife crisis. You could be a multi-billionaire or a multi-millionaire, and they'll say he's having a midlife crisis. He's lost his mind. He's gone crazy. And the reality is he ain't lost his mind. He ain't gone crazy. He just want to date a nerd, or he want to date a golf girl. And to me, and this is just me, not no one else, just me, I think the nerdy chick is the most freakiest woman in the bed because she's unpredictable. You can't never tell what she's gonna do 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Just when you think you figured out the answer, she come up with something completely new from out of left field, and then you're confused. Like 1 minute she got some handcuffs. Next minute, she come back with the Catwoman suit. She could dress up as Catwoman or as the Black Cat and do role playing, for sex. And then 1 minute you can come home, it's 50 Shades of Grey on your ass. And then you could have Valentine's Day, and all of a sudden she turns into Harley Quinn. So I think the nerdy girl is the most freaky, is the most sexually perverted in the bed, because you just don't know what she's gonna do. Same thing with the goth girl. You just can't never tell what a goth girl is gonna do in the bedroom. Like, you might have an idea, and then your idea turns out to be wrong because you just don't know what to expect. A goth girl will take a character from a movie or a television show and start to imitate that character. So that's what I think. Now we have the other monopoly, the one that every man has tried once in their lifetime, the older woman. We all know stories, and any man can relate to this, that when they were in high school or in college, they had a big crush on older women. I had some crushes on older black women, older white women, older Latino women. I mean, trust me, I've had some big time crushes. And guess what? Every man can relate to this, that they have had their moments where they've sat down and thought about what would happen if I dated an older woman that's old enough to be my mom or grandmother's age. Yes, there's that. And once again, that's a monopoly. They'll think you've gone crazy. They'll think you've gone insane. And every now and then, the older woman can compete with the nerd, the golf girl, and the BBW. Every now and then, the older woman can compete at a high competitive level. And it's due to experience. Y'all might say sexual experience, fine. They're freaky too in the bedroom. I mean, they'll do things that will make you go brag to your best friends at work or at the gym that'll probably make your friend get jealous and in his feelings. So I would probably say at number one, the nerd girl is by far the freakiest in the bedroom. And I would probably say coming in at number two is the golf girl. And then I would probably argue tied in at number three would be the BBW and the older women. These are the four types of women that I think are the freakiest in the bedroom. Now, can the BBW woman actually beat out the golf girl and the nerd chick? The answer is yes. There are minor rules. There are exceptions to the rules. They do actually happen. These are the four types of women that are freaks in the bedroom. And that any one of them can actually make you say, I didn't know they were like that. You know that old saying, don't judge a book by its cover? Yeah, don't judge a book by its cover. I'm just saying it because this is one of these fun, exciting type of videos. And every time I do a video, there's always a fire truck that just has to pass by. Whether I'm at my house, washing clothes, don't worry, we will make a return back to the Grove. There will be no ice cream trucks because sometimes they are annoying. It's like it's Sunday morning. Who in their right mind wants some ice cream early in the morning? I mean, we do know somebody that do that, but another video for another time.